Hello and welcome everyone. I am Riya Vaidya, Assistant Manager at Enterslice. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with our partner, Mr. Victor Buju, whose expertise in legal matters is second to none. Mr. Victor's impressive track record, including not only negotiating high-stakes commercial agreements, but also guiding numerous businesses through the successful setup in Romania. Today, we will discuss the strategic advantages that Romania offers to the new companies. We will break down the steps involved from initial planning to the full compliance with Romanian laws. So let's move ahead and begin our discussion. Victor, my first question is can you provide an overview of the process for setting up a company in Romania?
Yes, Ria, thank you. That's a good question. Basically, the incorporation of a company in Romania is pretty straightforward and rather simple. The beneficiary commonly chooses the name and the type of the legal entity. As discussed before, the most sought after is the limited liability company, which can be converted into a joint stock company afterwards if it is needed. After you choose the type of the company and the name, we draw up the articles of association. We help with the documentation which is necessary for the trade registry for the baby to be born, let's put it this way. After we submit this file, and it's a back and forth with some documents, it's rather simple. We draw up the contracts and the paperwork, the declarations, and we send it to the beneficiary. They either sign it electronically with a specific type of signature, or they send it via post office for us to have some originals because we're obliged to do so. After we submit the documents to the trade registry, in about 4 or 5 working days, we have the approval. And from that point on, the baby is born. We obtain the identification code for the fiscal authorities. We register the company with the fiscal authority, and then the business can commence. And regarding the bank account process, as discussed, there are banking services that can be concluded online and exclusively on a digital platform, but most of the banks require physical presence. We can find our way around it. But just for clarity, it's a simple process that can be proceeded on a digital base. They don't need to come to Romania. We can have the entity born and raised without physical participation.
Okay. That is great. Okay. So my next question is what are the key legal regulations, requirements for foreign entrepreneurs, when establishing a company in Romania?
Basically, there are some declarations as to not have a criminal file for tax evasion or other economical infractions, but altogether, there are not. You have to have legal standing, as in be an adult, and basically that's it. Anybody can. We're not discriminating, and there is this intention of the Romanian government to sustain business here and also attract foreign investors and foreigners, because it's a free market and this is the EU philosophy. So it depends obviously on the specific of the industry. For some industries there are legal requirements, but just for business, for trading and regular service providers, it's okay. If there are specific businesses, there are legal requirements, but those are case by case basis.
Okay. So can you tell me what are the different types of business structures available for foreign entrepreneurs in Romania?
As mentioned before, the most common type is the limited liability company, and is the alternative of a joint stock company. Usually this joint stock company is more complicated, and it involves operations that have a multitude of investors and shareholders. So that would be appropriate for bigger businesses. When it comes to entry-level businesses that want to penetrate the European market, our recommendation would be the limited liability one, because it has some pros regarding no minimum capital requirements. It's very simple and fast to incorporate the entity. It has the possibility to be financed and to do any kind of operation. There are no limitations.
Okay.
But the only con would be the limited ability to raise capital. But as said, a limited liability company could be converted to a joint stock one afterwards.
Okay. So can you explain the taxation system in Romania?
Yes, this is also have been subject to debate. I guess globally speaking, the taxation, I don't know in India and in that part of Asia how it works, but I suppose that the economic recession is there, and the fiscal system needs to adapt to this. Altogether, there are, when you're opening up a company, you can, if you have an employee, a full-time employee, and you pay taxes and contributions to that employee, you can sign up for the micro taxation system, which is 1% taxation for income, and then to that, besides the taxes for the employee in and of itself, it is an 8% taxation for dividends. So when you have profits other than the 1%, you get to have this. Also, what needs to be added? So this is a 9% income tax. But it needs to be said that once you reach the 60,000 euro equivalent threshold, there will be the mandatory VAT registration. So a 19% VAT tax will be added to the services for the beneficiaries. So yeah, but this is common practice throughout the world. Once you hit some thresholds, you need to have VAT. But that also comes with a lot of benefits, because you can acquire stuff on the company and deduct the VAT. And what is also important, once you reach the 500,000 euro equivalent or dollar equivalent for income, you will be automatically taken from 1% to 16%, but not on income, but on profit. So when you reach 500,000 income, it means that you have an operation that also has a lot of costs. So the 16% on profit could actually turn out to be more appropriate for a business that has a big operation.
Okay.
But even so, 16% with 8% is not a rough taxation system if we compare it to the other European countries.
Understood. Okay. So what are the challenges, or what we can say obstacles for foreign investors may encounter when incorporating the company in Romania?
Well, to be honest, we haven't had a lot of hiccups when coming to the incorporation process in and of itself. There are potential issues when it comes to money transfer themselves, because in Europe we have this AML KYC process, and there's a lot of anti-money laundering systems that are in place. So we basically need to find out what is the proof of funds, proof of wealth. So there is a know your customer process, and sometimes people that have no direct explications for the sources could have some problems, but also these are manageable. This is what we do.
Okay. So how does Romania offers does Romania offers any special visa or like simplified work permit for like for the process for foreign entrepreneurs?
Yeah, we do have, from my understanding, I should double check this, but we do have in Romania a startup visa program for non-EU entrepreneurs, and this provides a much easier pathway to obtaining a residency. Also, for highly skilled workers, there is a simplified process for obtaining a work permit, especially in the IT and technology emerging sectors. Um, the only thing that should be noted is that I guess you know that there is a lot of immigration going on in Europe, and sometimes it's problematic. And the authorities, pragmatically speaking, are much more diligent nowadays than they used to be a couple of years ago. But altogether, what is necessary on a pragmatic level to know is that the General Inspectorate for Immigration is not so welcoming with obtaining work permits for fresh companies. So if you have a newly incorporated company, it's a little bit of a hustle to demonstrate that we indeed have the requirements met for us to deploy work from abroad. Because basically you should initially look for your employees in Romania, and then if you don't have the workload that you need, you can deploy foreigners. But as mentioned, there are solutions for this. There are a case-by-case approach that needs to be taken into consideration. There are people that offer services of selling out ready incorporated companies that have a backtrack that is sustainable. So you could basically buy the shares of a ready-made company and then have the requirements met and deploy the work permits for Asian people.
Okay, understood. So lastly, Victor, could you share any final tips or recommendation for foreign investors like who wants to setting up their company over there?
A lot of scams are happening throughout Europe. It's not necessarily Romanian people. There are other nationalities that sustain that we incorporate companies, send us Bitcoin, and especially cryptocurrency. Even though I like the crypto ecosystem, I would not recommend, as an entrepreneur wanting to penetrate a market, that you go along with shady people. Use local partners that seem to have a green light as to non-shadiness. So, and prepare documents, communicate. A lot of clarity is necessary when doing such an endeavor, and I would recommend that homework is done before. And yes, regulatory is relevant. The system is friendly for it is a good environment for business, and it can be a very good market for decent products and services. The people interested that want to come to Romania and implicitly to the European Union need to understand that this is a competitive market, and good services and good products do have very good chances of survival. The initial part of a business is usually more difficult, but if you hang in there for 1 year, 2 years, you're good to go. And yeah, I don't know how to close the circle, because it's also depending on each industry.
Right.
But call us and we can make it happen. Ask Priya, we will give you more written details for you to have direct communication. And yeah, I guess so. If there is trading involved, we can also help with merchandise coming in and going towards other places. We know the process, we know the people, so I guess it could be more easy in that sense.
Great, that is great. So thank you so much, Victor. It has been a wonderful, like incredible conversation with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's very kind of you.
Bye. Thank you everyone for joining us today. I hope you found this session as enlightening as I did. For more further details, visit www.enterslice.com or reach out to us today.